Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians cast, episode 758. I am your host, Matrixlord212. It is Saturday, December 12th, 2015 at 4:22 p.m. and I am with Ray. What's up, Ray?
What's happening?
All right, guys. I was going to take off on the weekend. I had plans to finish my book. I was getting distracted as I was trying to write, so I decided to watch some Doctor Who. I watched Hellbent again. I watched Time of the Doctor, watched The Snowman, and then it hit me. Everything made sense because Trenzalore in the future, that whole time stream that, the Doctor alluded to, he thought it was his spirit connected to himself, whatever. No. The Time Lords had created that, linking it to the Doctor as a way to save Clara to come back to life, okay? Also to stop the Great Intelligence, or for the Great Intelligence to use it. So technically, the way I feel, being that time isn't a straight line, and you could go forward, you can go backwards, the Time Lords could go to the end of the universe, the end of time, they can go to the beginning of the time. I feel that at some point in time, the General may become the Lord President because the Doctor's not there, and he creates this. It could be he creates it, or because Clara's going around with a shielder, it creates a rupture in time that's connected to the Doctor, and this could be a way to bring back Clara. Now, the way I feel will work is that she dies, and as we've seen when she died in Silent Daleks, she was all of a sudden in Snowman. It was said that she was split into many different copies, or so we're led to believe. I think what's going to happen is that, the Doctor, somehow she's going to be saved because of this event. Possibly, going through the time stream, something like that. Maybe she'll awake as another copy with memories of what happened before as a side effect. Okay? Maybe by going in the time stream, it will counteract the thing with the Raven, and possibly, she doesn't really die. Okay? That's what I feel. You could do numerous different things, but the Time Lords saw her die. They didn't watch afterwards. The Doctor saw her die. But what happens afterwards? Just like when the Doctor thought the Master died and burned him and left, a part of him survived. It's quite possible that Clara could still be alive after Face the Raven, and she just goes by a different name, Oswin, and fools everybody.
That is very. That could actually be a point there, and she's actually been looking out for, like she said, she's been looking out for the Doctor ever since he came into the world. So it's like only right that she'll do it after she's died, and
only the original would be able to, and because the fact that she went through his time stream, that could counteract and confuse the quantum shade. Because while trying to kill Clara, it will be like, well, wait a minute. There's a million Claras.
Which one do I go for? Yeah.
Right. So it could get confused. Like, it could kill her, but technically she could just reemerge. You know what I'm saying? So technically, it could be a thing like that. Again, it could have nothing to do with it. I'm just grasping at straws, trying to find a way. And here's the thing. I kind of hope that Moffat doesn't leave it the way it is, because to me, for just this once, it would be nice where he actually resolves a plot hole that he creates, or many. You know what I'm saying? Just this once. It would be nice.
It gets frustrating to a point where he doesn't say what the hell's happening. At least with Russell Davies, you could at least count on him, not straight away, but at least near the end of the series, he could say, well, look forward to this at the end and everything. Now it's just like, oh, well, let's forget about it. And then if we forget about it, then the viewers will forget about it.
Now, technically, if our Clara doesn't come back, technically, the Clara from the Snowmen could come back, and I'll tell you why. Now, we all know that the governess died in the pond, drowned, became the ice creature.
Mm.
When she killed Clara, their water ice thing mixed, okay, where Clara had the ability to destroy the Great Intelligence because that snowman type stuff that the governess was made, they merged, and her tears affected the snowman and the Great Intelligence. And one of the biggest overlooked plot points is the fact that they zoom in when she cries, and her tear hits the floor. Okay, now why did they zoom into that? Why did they zoom in to show that her tear went in the rug? Very simple. Okay, she survives, just like the Great Intelligence survives, just like the snowmen survive. She is water now. Okay, and she goes into the rug. She can reemerge. Okay, that's what I think, because there's got to be a reason how she had the power to stop the snowman because she was merged with the governess with the water. So technically, she could live if the original Clara doesn't live.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that the Great Intelligence and Clara and the Snowmen were merged or linked in a way from the Snowman because he had the power with the snow. She had the power with the snow. They both supposedly died. Now, flash forward to the Bells of St. John's. He puts her into himself, the Wi-Fi. She emerges with this great intelligence, meaning she's smarter, not necessarily the great intelligence, but she has computer genius, all this stuff. She's technically a second time merged with the great intelligence. Okay?
Mm.
So what they could do is they could bring her back saying that possibly, as long as she's alive, the great intelligence is alive, they can merge something where he escapes her and he's alive again, because technically they both keep dying and coming back to life. Okay? So there's so many ways they could save Clara that it's ridiculous. If only he seizes the moment.
I would like him to bring Clara back, because it's not fair that every single companion I was saying dies, and Martha's was basically the only one who had a good ending.
Right.
Because she basically walked. So what are you trying to say, that you can't leave the Doctor unless you walk away? Right. That's ridiculous. In the classic Who, he used to drop him off like anything because he was worried about him, or he just didn't want to traveling with him anymore.
Now, I am fully convinced so far, after watching Hellbent, I don't know how many times, that thing had a human setting. Okay, I believe he could be half. I'm not completely satisfied. I believe he could be half human. Could be.
Yeah. Because he said it himself, didn't he? He said it's on the human setting for you, Clara.
Right.
And they wouldn't allude to that unless it was important. Would they?
Maybe he's part human. Maybe he's part human.
They wouldn't allude to that plot hole coming up and that. And I don't believe Clara could we do that with like making it change to the Time Lord setting.
Now, it also could be said that if he is not human or part human, that his wife is human, which is why he has a tie to Earth, because his kids and his grandkid is part human. So that if it's not the Doctor being part human, his wife could be full human, his grandkid could be part human, his kid could be part human, I don't know. Or his kid could have fell in love with a human and had Susan.
Yeah, and hence why he felt that it was safer for Susan to be on Earth.
Right, because that's her other home.
Yeah, because why else would he have took her there back then if he didn't have a link somewhere?
Right. So again, I did say to people I was going to take off today. I'm going to go back to being off. I just watched these episodes and I had to say something because I feel that all he has to do, Moffat, is get her back for one episode to resolve it, and then leave her to just go back to, you know what, she's back on Earth teaching at Coal Hill. Because now you have to explain to the kids that she's gone. You have to explain to her parent that her father, that she's gone. It's like it's terrible. It's
Yeah.
like how many teachers are gonna die from Coal Hill? It's like sad. So
It's one of them where all it happens, but we
I'm
can't promise it, guys. We can't promise it, guys.
I'm gonna take a big bet that before Capaldi leaves, Clara will return in his life before he regenerates.
So basically, like Amy did, where the 11th saw Amy.
Right. Well, I think in this case it's not going to be an illusion. I think flat out Clara is going to return before he regenerates.
I would like that.
So I'm calling that. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm gonna say that that he's gonna go back and see her, but not as herself, if you know what I mean. Like he's gonna go back and see her before he met her, if you know what I mean. And
no, I think she's flat out going to return after. I think she's going to emerge from Face the Raven. I think that she's going to be okay, flat out. I think, and she'll be witnessing his regeneration.
There's a lot of theories out there at the moment with Clara in there.
There's also a possibility that if her real life boyfriend takes over the role as the Doctor, she may be the companion. Like she may come back as the companion because that's her, her real life boyfriend, whatever, from Game of Thrones. I mean, if he becomes the Doctor, like they were alluding to, then she could possibly return as the companion. Totally. So
I'd be open for her to return.
Yeah.
I'd be open for any of them to return because we just got to wait and see, ain't we? If it's not now, it's when Moffat leaves that it's going to happen. I think.
Yeah, I think that I think that there's been the way it ended off with her was just unexplained. I don't know why Moffat went in that direction. We do have some comments on our videos that on our podcast that people were asking. I'm going to try to do that now. And again, I do apologize that I can't comment on the YouTube channel. That's just the way it is that YouTube has set it up because I'm not linked with Google+. So let me just see what we have here.
You see that theory also out there, Joe, that I know I'm going to laugh here because it's ridiculous that they're saying that none of snowmen, Clara, and not the TARDIS, which she escaped in, she was overlooking the Doctor from then, after she took the TARDIS with her shield off. And she went back to them times because she knew he was going to be there.
Okay, do you think Moffat had a thing for the actress who played Clara? Would explain how it went off the rails. That's kind of controversial. I understand 'cause he's married and everything. Do I personally think that? Well, not to get into trouble or whatever, but possibly. Possibly.
I'm going to say maybe.
I'm going to say possibly, but, not saying that's definite. I'm saying it's a possibility. It's probably, maybe. I mean, it could be an emotionally angry thing that, she left or that whatever, and it's like, all right, now I'm really going to stick to character. I don't know. It's hard to say, but it's possible. Also, the possibility about dating Pink. Well, she ain't gonna be with you. No, I mean that would also make sense.
That's what I was gonna say. She could have. Jenna could have been so. Yeah, she could have been so upset that Danny wasn't returning because she might have said.
Well, I'm saying Moffat really don't want anybody to be with her romantically.
Yeah.
So he created that whole Jane Austen thing because he's just the way he is. I mean, that's possible too.
Yeah, don't you agree, Joe? She could have said, why don't you give me an happy ending? And he might have said, no, I'm not having him back because of such and such. And she might have been so upset, and that's why she said, that's it, I'm coming back for the series, and that's why he messed her up.
Another thing from Blitzblots, new theory that Me is still working for the Time Lords at the end of Hellbent. I believe that. I mean, here's the thing. She was technically in Gallifrey at the end of time because that was the basement still. They didn't move in space, but they moved in time. So she's on Gallifrey towards the end. I would say that she did not age
No.
And I would say that they gave her regenerations and they made her Time Lord or something because she has her memories and she's fine. That's true what you said. Yes, I agree with that also. That is possible.
I do.
Yeah. What other comments we have? Yeah, radio times. Okay. Um, is there anything else, gang?
I saw. Did you see on Radio Times done a blink theory?
No, but I don't want to get into the blink thing
I know.
now because this is
but,
Clara. This is really about Clara.
I know, but I'm just saying. Did you see it? Because I read it the other day, and it was actually quite interesting.
Yeah, I don't want to get. Yeah,
I know.
I will look into it. Let's see. Okay. All right. I do want to say that it's funny how the amount of time that she's dead is the amount of time he was in the prison.
Yeah.
You know, so the Time Lords technically didn't stay there for 4-something billion years. They went to the end of time. So they could do something where, you know, I don't know. I mean, I know they don't want to undo Heaven Sent and Face the Raven. I find that somehow they will resolve the quantum shading thing and that she will emerge from there but change her name to Oswin and the Time Lords, whatever. That's what it's going to be. Or they'll create a perception filter around her where the Time Lords are not looking for her and she appears that she's died. And they leave her alone in that sense. I mean, that's all we had to do is create a perception filter, just like the Master couldn't tell. You know?
Yeah, I know.
You know? So, okay, guys, if you agree with me or not, post your thoughts on Hellbent. I know and if Clara can get out of that predicament without, even if she's restored back to that time thing, I tend to believe that she can. I tend to believe that, you know, we didn't see for a reason. Like, it's just, we just seen him walk in the room and it's like, okay. So I think that's possible, and I think going forward we need to stop with the nonsense of erasing companions' memories, that they have to die for him to leave them, because you kind of back yourself into a corner with no way out, and we don't want to do that. So, again, I think Moffat owes it to the character of Clara for one last hurrah to fix it properly, put her back in Cold Hill School, and give her Danny Pink as well. They could do something towards the effect that, you know, there was a mistake, that he didn't die in a car crash because of whatever, and then he could be back in Cold Hill with her, and the timeline secure because they have offspring, and I think that's the way to go. And I think that she would want to settle down knowing that she can't be with the doctor or whatever, so I think that's the way to go.
Hang on, I just thought of something. What happens if she uses the TARDIS and goes to that exact moment before he crosses the road and saves him?
She could, but then it would fracture the timeline.
Well, she might not care unless she because she.
I don't know. Man, she could do anything. She could be causing problems for the Doctor in the future seasons because
the Shielder might turn her. You don't know.
I don't. Here's the thing. I love Maisie Williams, but I don't.
That role doesn't suit her, does it?
I don't like what they did with her character, the way they wrote her, and I don't see how she would be traveling with someone that was responsible or partly responsible for her death, and how they could be BFFs all of a sudden, and how she's got memories all of a sudden. Like, because wouldn't she forget her? How would she remember her? So I find that doesn't make sense, and I don't like things to not make sense. Again, we don't have to have answers for everything, but we have to have answers for some things, and that's what I have to say. So, in Doctor Who. So that's it. That's it, Ray. Take care.
Bye.